America's founding father may be one of the most well-documented figures in history, but some secrets were never meant to be found in books. Recent DNA analysis from hidden graves, uncovered near Washington family estates, has shaken the historical narrative surrounding George Washington's lineage and legacy. Who were these people buried in silence? And why did their DNA connect them to a man whose name defines the birth of a nation? The shocking answers don't just rewrite history. They force us to rethink everything we thought we knew about bloodlines, inheritance, and hidden truths buried just beneath the surface of America's past. In this video, we'll break down what the scientists found, what historians missed, and how one family's buried secrets could change how we understand the foundation of the United States. 1. The discovery of the hidden graves. The story begins on the outskirts of Mount Vernon, George Washington's Virginia state. During a land redevelopment survey, ground-penetrating radar revealed a cluster of unmarked graves on a previously undocumented section of property. Initial assessments suggested the burials were from the late 1700s to early 1800s. But what made them extraordinary was what they didn't contain. No headstones, no records, no known links to the main Washington family cemetery. Curious archaeologists, suspecting these might be related to enslaved persons or forgotten household members, began excavation. What they found sparked one of the most unexpected investigations in presidential history. 2. DNA extraction and the first shocks. Using cutting-edge ancient DNA extraction techniques, scientists recovered viable genetic material from molars and long bones in 5 of the 12 unearthed graves. Initially, they aimed to compare it to general population databases for historical context, but things escalated when key markers matched those of known Washington family descendants, preserved in privately held genealogical archives and museum collections. The implications were staggering. These weren't just anonymous bodies from the era. Some of them were biologically tied to George Washington's extended family. 3. George Washington's known family tree. George Washington had no biological children of his own. Historians agree on this point. He married Martha Custis, who had children from a previous marriage, and Washington helped raise them. However, he came from a large family, including 5 siblings, and the extended Washington bloodline includes many prominent early Americans. Most genealogical research on the Washingtons focuses on official records, wills, land deeds, and formal marriages. But what the DNA shows now suggests that the family tree may have had branches never documented, illegitimate or hidden lines deliberately left out of history. This revelation not only disrupts the pristine image of the founding father, but also exposes how privilege often controls whose stories are preserved and whose are forgotten or erased. 4. One sample matches a mystery line. One particular sample stood out. The remains of a middle-aged man bore a near-identical Y-DNA match to the paternal Washington line, but didn't align with any documented descendant. This has led experts to hypothesize that he may have been the offspring of a Washington male through an undocumented relationship, possibly with an enslaved woman, or someone outside the family's social circle. This would mean Washington's bloodline continued outside the formal records, potentially complicating legal and historical interpretations of descendants and estate legacies. Such revelations could prompt a complete re-examination of who qualifies as an heir, not only biologically, but symbolically in America's national memory. 5. Oral histories now gaining scientific backing. For generations, local African-American families in Virginia have shared oral histories claiming descent from the Washingtons, stories often dismissed due to lack of documentation. Now, for the first time, genetic data may be backing these claims. 2 of the individuals in the graves carry genetic markers consistent with African ancestry, but they also share long segments of DNA with Washington lineage profiles, indicating likely parent-child or half-sibling relationships. This lends weight to long-standing suspicions that America's founding era included more complex, entangled relationships than history books admit. It validates generations of passed-down memory and suggests that some of America's most revered bloodlines may be more intertwined than anyone dare to publicly acknowledge. 6. The ethics of genetic history. The discoveries raise serious ethical questions. Who owns the right to tell these stories? Should descendants be notified? And how does this reshape American heritage? Some historians urge caution, arguing that genealogy without context risks sensationalism. Others say it's a long overdue reckoning with the sanitized narratives of elite families. Legal experts are also weighing in, because if direct descent can be proven genetically, it might affect claims of land inheritance, family trusts, or even the stewardship of historical sites. Ethical frameworks must now evolve alongside technology. Who decides how we honor or reveal uncomfortable truths from the past, especially when those truths challenge national mythologies and institutional legacies? 7. The possibility of a secret child. While George Washington is widely believed to have been infertile, some fringe historians have speculated that he may have fathered a child outside of wedlock. One grave, containing the remains of a young woman, shares mitochondrial DNA with the female Washington line and autosomal similarities to George's own sister's line. Could she have been a niece or something more? While conclusive proof remains elusive, the genetic similarity is strong enough that some researchers believe she was born of a very close Washington relative, possibly even George himself. If confirmed, this could reshape the cultural understanding of Washington's personal life and raise questions about the private lives of other revered historical figures once assumed beyond scrutiny. 8. The role of enslaved women in family secrets. Many of the Washington family's secrets are inseparable from the institution of slavery. Several of the newly uncovered graves suggest that the individuals were of mixed heritage, and their burial without ceremony or record points to a social erasure common in plantation life. Historians now suspect that some of these individuals may have been children born of coercive or consensual relationships between Washington men and enslaved women, buried in silence to preserve family reputations. These findings confront us with the painful truth that the lives and legacies of enslaved women have often been deliberately excluded, even when intertwined with powerful American bloodlines. 9. Why this matters to American history. This discovery isn't just about family secrets. It's about national identity. We celebrate figures like Washington for their vision and leadership, but these new findings humanize them in a different way, revealing how power, privilege, and legacy often come with hidden costs and complex truths. Rewriting parts of his story doesn't diminish his contributions, but it does broaden our understanding of what America was built on. Not just ideals, but contradictions buried beneath the surface for centuries. It forces historians and citizens alike to reassess what we commemorate, how we record legacy, and who gets to define America's foundational narrative. 10. What comes next? The unfolding investigation. Archaeologists, geneticists, and historians are continuing to explore the site. More graves are being carefully analyzed, and museum curators are now re-evaluating artifacts and family records. Meanwhile, descendants, both confirmed and possible, are being interviewed. Some welcome the revelations. Others worry about what it means for how their ancestry will be viewed. This isn't just a story about George Washington. It's a story about how DNA is reshaping history, one unmarked grave at a time, and it's far from over. Future findings may extend beyond the Washingtons, inviting broader questions about legacy, identity, and truth in a time where science can see through centuries of silence. Conclusion. The DNA from hidden graves near George Washington's estate has done more than stir curiosity. It's forced a confrontation with forgotten truths. From secret descendants to the role of enslaved women, from unmarked burials to unspoken relationships, the evidence beneath the soil is rewriting our understanding of America's first family. History doesn't live only in documents. It lives in blood, bones, and the questions we were once afraid to ask. If this revelation made you rethink what you thought you knew, like, comment, and subscribe for more untold stories that reshape how we see the past and ourselves. Because sometimes the real legacy of greatness isn't what's recorded, it's what was buried.